After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 493. Today is Monday, February 21st, 2022, as we are recording. Happy President's Day to those who celebrate. My name is Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad you found us. We hope you see something you like and that you will return. If you are returning, we're glad to have you with us as always. And if you are new or returning and you are in the shadows and you'd like to be more involved, more official, please consider tapping the little subscribe button on your right, it's a little red button, and the little bell so that you can get notifications. And if you'd like to be even more involved with the alongs and things like that, camaraderie, all that kind of stuff happens at our home group. And that's at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. And that's all this stuff is in the description box below the video. Okay? Okay, do we do tea now?
Yes, we do tea, and you have more than me.
Okay, I have tea. My tea is an Adagio Fandom blend. It's called Benny the Chocolate Bunny.
And I just realized I left my tin over there.
And it's by Irishman. If you're an Adagio person, this is by Irishman. And this was actually gifted to me by a friend whose name is Woody, and he gave it to me. And it's a chocolate tea, and it's the first time I've had it, so I'm kind of excited about it. It was on my wish list. Yes, it's definitely getting better. I can taste the orange now and a little bit of the chocolate. Sometimes the tea has to settle a little bit or set, and things seem to mix better.
Right.
And I'm always a little leery with black teas. But I steeped it a little bit lower. I might go down to 190.
That one's actually not bad.
Mm-hmm. There's no chai in it.
Oh, there isn't?
No.
Okay. No. That explains why it's not awful.
So this is, it's got a little bit of orange that comes through. It's got chocolate. I think I have to be careful with the astringency on this because it's black teas. All of them are black teas. And then there's cocoa nibs. So, you know.
And then mine, even though I forgot the...
Wait, my mug.
Oh, sorry.
Is what I've been doing for a while here. I was going to use a different mug, but I had a bunny, so I had to have an owl. This is my Chronically Crocheting. I love to crochet owl she made for me. Thank you very much, Crystal.
And I forgot to change out from my morning Memento Mori mug. I just used the same mug from this morning. And this one, even though I forgot the tin, this is Bat Brew. It's one that was a limited time, but someone replicated it as best they could, so I took the steeping time off of that.
Mm-hmm. That was out of my mystery box, and it had a lot of black tea in it, so I gave it to Talia.
I feel like the cinnamon's strong in this.
Ooh. Oh, I can smell the cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. That was the first thing I could smell.
Oh, that's not bad.
And Mom, it's now called, someone tried to mimic it. Actually, the picture's really cute. It's called Baby Bat.
Okay.
And,
Aww.
It's got cute little baby bats wrapped in blankets. And it's got cinnamon, chocolate, and ginger.
I really like it.
I feel like you can taste the ginger a little bit.
Yeah, I really like it, but why do I need it when I have Thief? And Thief has a little bit more of a punch.
Well, Thief has that hot, fiery cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah, I might be a little spoiled with that one. That's yeah.
The first time I had the fiery cinnamon was in a Plum Deluxe tea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you took I had to talk you into it, but you did take one of my samples for that.
I did?
Yeah, it was like part of a bag, and you sent the rest of it to your friend in New York.
Okay. I have to get back to her. She was so surprised. The message just made me giggle. I showed you the message. Mm-hmm. Boy, when you said tea, you had You meant tea.
I definitely taste the ginger underneath of that cinnamon.
Yeah, this one's got the chocolate with the orange. So, and I think there's like some kind. I can't remember what the spices were that I read off of here. Because this is a sample, I don't have. Not all of them have the ingredients on it, so I don't know what the ingredients are. I had to look it up to see how long to steep it.
I was looking at this one. Gave me an idea of what was in it, because otherwise I wouldn't have any idea of how to steep or whatever, because I wouldn't know what's. If I had something that was limited and no one made a copy,
Right.
would have no idea.
Yeah, except it was black tea, so you'd have to.
I might not know that.
Or, you probably could tell.
Possibly.
Maybe. I think what you do in that case is you steep it at like 190 or something.
Yeah.
And see, because then you.
And if you do 3 minutes, you're generally safe, because you can generally tell if it's if it's something that needs lower
Or higher.
I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, Mott's sometimes need lower, but.
I'm glad I got this that has caffeine in it because I can feel it perking me up a little bit.
Oh, well, good.
I had a very active dream last night, and so I think I'm tired. Anyway, moving on. I guess that takes us to the alongs?
Yes, it does.
Okay, yes. For some reason, I've gotten off my spiel. I think since COVID started, when we used to do all the stuff with the charities and stuff, and we haven't been able to get out there as quickly, so I haven't been doing as much with the charities. But we are still taking things for the pregnancy center or whatever. And if you do things for Evan's house, we will get them to her eventually. I just don't get out to Winchester as much as I used to. Okay, we do have several alongs. We have 2 alongs going on. We have the PHN Tea and Tails Cal Cal Lal 2022, and this is our year-long Cal Cal Lal. It's probably our most popular one.
Yeah. This is our 3rd time doing it. Backed by popular demand.
Yes. And this runs through December 31st, 2022. So if you hit January 1st, 2023, it's done unless the thread is open. But don't wait. Don't wait.
You see, it seems to be that the things that tend to go together is like tea, sometimes coffee, tea,
No coffee.
yarn stuff, and books.
Yep.
It just seems like they all tend to congregate together.
And cookies.
I mean, well, if you have tea or even coffee, you need cookies.
No coffee. I'm sorry, Patty. No coffee. Coffee. Patty has a permanent place in the coffee corner with her coffee.
There's a couple of other people who like coffee.
Yes. Anyways, tea and tails. And so don't wait until January 1st to put your stuff in, especially if you're looking at multiple chances at a prize. We're closing things out. The official date is Eastern Standard Time, midnight, which means our time.
Yeah.
Even though someone else might close it out.
Yeah.
Just don't wait. We want to make sure you get all. And if you have something that you were working on after you get everything that you want to, and the thread is still open, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips are allowed and must be worked on during the along and reflect the theme of tea and or tails. All right. Let's see here. If you have any questions about whether or not it fits in tea and tails, you can ask in the group. You can private message me if you want to. Taya might not get to you. We have some very good moderators in the group.
Yes.
Rena and Patty have both been with us for a long time, and they know the way that alongs run. We also have people like Pat, who's Looney Hiker, and a few other people who know the ins and out. Brittany, they know the ins and out of the alongs. So Laura Concert, that kind of person, okay? Those kind of people. Those people.
Them.
Them. Okay. They know who they are. Okay, so there's 1 whip per project per week, the FO whenever it's finished. We do have prizes. I just am slowly getting them together. We have them, I just haven't organized them. Let's see here. And we've had some very generous donators for that. Christina and Pat and a few other people. So the hashtag is hashtag PHNT and Tails 2022 on Instagram. The first quarter prize that we have, the one prize that we know of, is the donation from Pat, who's Looney Hiker. It's her wonderful graveyard sock pattern. Okay, it's a lovely pattern. You can see it over on Lovecrafts and on Ravelry. Okay. I believe it's on Lovecraft and on Ravelry. I'm not sure she's put it there yet. Okay. Didn't you see it on Lovecraft?
Yes.
Okay.
It is on Lovecraft.
Okay. Now, the featured yarns and featured patterns. Featured yarns and patterns, the usual suspect, anything that's mine, my one pattern, my yarn, ties patterns, Laura Concert's patterns, or yarns, as long as they reflect the themes of tea and or tales. Also, in this along, we have K.F. Jones patterns, Mom Cook patterns, she's a Lumnit, and also Joanna Johnson, as long as it's related to tea and or tales. And Joanna Johnson's got some adorable things for tea and tales. So does Kay. They all do. Okay? And they're not necessarily toys. Mom Cook, the Loom Knitter, has some really nice things, tea and tales, that are not toys. Okay, let's see here now. Okay, the Ready, Set, Go, Cal, Cal, Lal. We're in the second month. We're halfway through it because we're halfway through, more than halfway through February. So this ends on April 1st. You know, the last day is March 31st. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. Yeah, March 31st. Oh yeah, this definitely settles better.
Oh, good.
Okay. This is when you start all the things. Okay? No previous whips allowed. You have to have started this January 1st or later. You could have started it 1 minute into January 1st. Just has to be started January 1st. Okay? And so once you get started with it, of course, the whips are allowed. This is the start all the things. We don't want to talk about anything about frogging because that's done. January was the month of frogging. Let's see here. There's no theme except that you start it. And let's see here. Oh, for all of our longs, if it's 50 yards or less, the project, please put another project with it that's 50 yards or more for the finished object. Okay? Finished objects are not squares. Okay? And they are not one finished sock. Okay? All right?
Unless you're only making one Christmas
stocking. If you're making a Christmas stocking or you're making a shop sample or something like that.
And you don't intend to make another
one, then just say so. And then we'll accept it. But if you're working on a Cozy Memories blanket or Granny Square blanket that has multiple squares, or you're making a pair of socks or a pair of gloves or something like that, and you intend to make it, finish it, then you need to finish it for the finished object. Okay?
Because they are a pair.
Let's see here. With the project, like I said, I'm not going to go through all these rules, just the ones that are kind of a little different. The hashtag is hashtag PHN Race It Go 2022 on Instagram. And our featured patterns and featured yarns are my yarns and my one pattern, any other patterns I might develop, Talia's patterns, and Laura Concert's yarns and patterns. Okay? We don't have anything else for this particular along. Okay? And let's see. That takes care of that.
Okay. Well, you better refresh yourself because you have double the projects I do.
So I go twice, thrice?
Twice, thrice. Meh.
Twice, thrice.
Yes, that's what I said.
No, twice, thrice.
Yes.
Twice,
oh! Okay.
Somebody got a kick out of our give me the tea.
Oh, yeah.
Give me back my tea. I have seen all the comments, and I liked all of them. I just didn't have time to respond.
I think I only responded to one person. Oops.
Yeah. Somebody asked about the tea ball and the tea leaves.
Oh, I do remember that. We actually don't use tea balls. I wish I brought it with me.
Yeah.
It's like a tea basket that can go, that can sit in your mug, and then you just pour it.
And we also have an infuser that's a separate infuser.
She does. I broke mine.
You broke yours. Yeah, I have one. I have two of those, actually, I think.
I have a second one.
And I have two. But the one that I really like is like the one you broke.
Yes, and my other one is not like the one I preferred, and honestly, I've gotten to the point where I prefer the basket because then I can more accurately gauge my water.
Yeah, me too. So we use basically the baskets, and we have a couple of them. I think I'm going to go to Adagio and get one more that's like that.
Yeah, because you can choose ones that have very fine holes to them so that you don't get as many leaves in your tea, which is very important for things like chamomile and rooibos. Because they're some of the leaves are very small, and with tea balls and the baskets with the bigger holes, they can come through quite easily. But if you have a smaller mesh, it's easier.
And places like Plum Deluxe and Adagio
is a really good one.
Well, they have those are the infusers. They have those. Amazon has them, but I'm talking about Plum Deluxe and Adagio, and I think Tea Spot also have the bags.
But keep in mind with the bags, you will not get as good of a taste because your tea is constrained by the bag. You will get your best taste out of the tea if you put it in something like a basket.
And I don't,
because even the balls are not going to give you the best taste because there's not as much room for the tea to expand.
And I can tell you that the bags, I don't care how much they try, they put a taste in it.
Well, I know I tried one time. I put my tea leaves in a smaller, like it's almost like a basket, almost like a ball. And I put it in there, and I couldn't really taste the tea. I dumped it in my larger basket that fits in my mug for the second steeping. Much more of a full taste because the tea had room.
We are kind of snobby. We prefer either the infuser or the basket.
I
you
prefer the basket.
You can also do you can put the thing right into a teapot and then strain it.
Yeah, because there are actually ones that have the strainer built in. And what's nice about that, especially if it's a clear one like the one you have, is if you put a flowering tea in there, and usually those are white teas, then you can see it flower as it blooms.
And sometimes, so the tea, I have a teapot that has a infuser right in it, and then there are the kind that you put them into the teapot, and they have a strainer like in the spout.
Yeah.
Or you can put, a strainer in your cup like a basket. And, right, like that. There are a lot of different ways.
Or you could do it like Orson Welles says, is you drink it with the tea leaves in it because, that's the only way to drink tea according to him.
He has opinions.
Erroneous ones, but he has them. Had them. He no longer is around.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, my first project is in my Ploverbird pink and purple teacups bag. And this is my Comfy Cozy Shawl project from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. Yes, I did finish one. I have 2 more on the hooks. Okay. This one is mine.
Wait, you have 2 more on the hooks?
This one and another one.
Oh, well, that's not 2 more. That's 1 more.
No. I finished one, and I have 2 more on the hook.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant 2 more plus this one.
No.
I was like, you started another one?
Not yet.
Well, I know you are going to start another one, most likely. You are always starting other ones.
I want a black and white one. What happened to my hook? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is mine. I didn't do it. You're going to see that I didn't make much progress on my projects, except for on the podcast, because I've been busy doing other things. But I did make I didn't do anything on this after the podcast. But you can see, I could stop right now and wear it, but why?
Yeah, exactly.
Why? I want it to be a big one.
And the only reason why I'm not wearing my blue one that she finished for me today is because I'm wearing red today. Most of last week I was wearing blues and greens, so I was wearing that.
Yeah, I got she actually wore it to church yesterday, which made me happy. So let me just put my hook in here, because I think I have to show you another one.
Yes, you do.
Okay, the other one is it's in my Knit for Brains Owl Teapots bag, which was given to me at Laura concert. Thank you, Laura. This is the Arwen's Hooded Cowl from the Thorns Hooded Cowl pattern. And let me see, where's the bag? I had the bags in some order, and then it wouldn't stay put, so I had to adjust it. Laura was talking about hers, and she was like, I might pull this out. Somebody who remained nameless is making me one in purple.
Yeah, once I have 2 more skeins of, 1 more skein of your yarn, and then 1 more skein of undead yarn that are set aside and already wound up waiting to become socks. And then once I finish those, I can slow down on sock production speed a little bit because I've been doing sock because I'm trying to beat the rate of my putting holes in socks. So once I've got enough of a stash of my heavier weight ones, I can start like cutting legs off of socks that I'm tired of darning.
And so what does it have to do with the cowl?
After I do that, I can then work on her cowl more.
Gotcha. Okay. So here it is. It's starting to look like something.
It is.
It's growing. So I'm really happy with this. And she said, I think she said she was doing, the second one.
That's one you're doing.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's the one I did the very first time. I actually really enjoy the third one.
And if I do it again, that's probably the one I might try. Mm-hmm. I just hate the way it twists. I had to learn. The very first time I did something was KF Jones' handbrake, and I didn't twist that. And ever since then, I twist everything. It makes me nuts. So I just will look at the pattern maybe and see if I can do a couple rows and just finagle it so it's doing what it's supposed to do, and then I'll join it up. Right?
I was just trying to remember if that one starts with a pearl. I can't remember.
Where's my pattern at? Oh, here it is. Here it is. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So let me check my notes. I think I know, which one's next, but what happens? I have 3 projects. I don't think that's going to be this hard. I'll worry about my show notes when I actually have reading, because that's more than just 3.
Reading?
Okay.
Reading?
When I get to books.
Oh, okay. Twice.
So in my Pod Blue jean Batgirl bag, Batgirl and jeans, this is my this is all Kay's fault, mitered square blanket. This thing is ancient. It just got bypassed by the miter square Afghan because, bigger squares and smaller blanket.
Did you see the size of those squares Laura's using for her?
I haven't watched it, I guess.
No, she brought it on the Zoom, I think. It's a ginormous. I looked at that thing. I said, "That's a lapgan." She's making 9 squares to make the. It's really pretty.
I can't remember.
It's really pretty.
Okay, so here is one square, and here's the other square. So, yay! I don't know why this one looks so much bigger, because it's the same number of stitches. It's weird.
Maybe you stretched it a little bit when you were working on it?
Maybe. It's just weird when that happens, because I know I did the same number of stitches. Okay.
What's that yarn on the end? Is that mine?
Yep.
What is it?
This is it okay to be different?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what happens is I get enough out of a...
that's one you just gave me.
Yeah. I get enough out of the sport weight yarn that I'm using for these socks. Get enough to make a pair of socks, to add a square to my blanket, and to give Mom some for her blanket. So she actually has to finish the blanket because she's getting all these scraps.
Yay. All right, let me just finish the stitch. I keep saying I need to find a couple of metal needle minders for this, so I can make sure that this doesn't fall off. Thankfully, it's not, it can push back far enough that I don't have to worry about it.
Well, once you get the hood, it'll be a little bit easier too.
All right, let me go to the next one here. Just put this aside. This is addicting. I enjoy this.
Well, that one is one that's, that's a great, I don't want to focus on anything, because you really don't have to. You can just keep going around and around. I mean, you have to check off rows every once in a while, but...
Well, you check off rows to make sure that you're not having to switch from a knit to a purl.
Right.
And that's once you get to that, you just go around.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me just do this. And you might hear some noise if my husband's home for the holiday, so you might hear some noise if he comes out earlier than expected. And Davina's doing her Monday bathroom, so you might hear her come out later on.
Cleaning a bathroom.
What did I say?
You said Monday bathroom. That's unclear, so I wanted to make it clear what that meant.
Well, she wasn't going to, eat the bathroom or something. Okay. All right, my next one. I want some tea.
This is decent. I probably wouldn't personally purchase the copy of the Bat Brew. There's, the cinnamon. I'm not a strong cinnamon person. I usually have to have other flavors mixed in there, and then there's ginger underneath, which ginger is a bit of a challenging flavor anyway.
I probably wouldn't pick that up. Like I said, I have Thief. I don't need to have that one. And I have a couple others that I really like. I mean, that's good if you like milder.
It's good, and it is, well, it's not mild. It's a savory cheese. Now, granted, I tend to notice cinnamon more because I don't like it nearly as much.
To me,
as
it's
you do.
mild.
See, I don't think it's mild.
To me, it's mild.
But I think...
we need to have taste division because I want people to taste Thief because that kicks you in the teeth.
Well, that one's gonna kick you in the teeth. I think because I don't tend to like cinnamon quite as much as you do. If there is any decent amount of cinnamon in it, I'm going to think it's strong. Whereas some of the smokier teas, where I'm just like, this is just good, you're like, oh, this is so strong. It's just a difference in palate.
Although I have found a couple smoky teas that I don't mind.
Well, I almost had today, until I realized that they were having a Chinese black tea, I almost had Lapsang Souchong, which actually I do think might be a Chinese tea. But
it's not a gold one, though.
no, it's not a gold one. Because that one's a smoky tea, and someone had I had 2 different people give that to me for my birthday, so I have 2 samples.
I always think that's funny because it says so-and-so gave this to you.
But I think that goes away after you redeem it.
Oh, does it?
And I think that
Okay.
someone gave that to me after I redeemed it.
Because I got 2, I think it was maple cream oolong.
Yeah, I think that it goes away, that notification goes away after you redeem it.
Yeah. But people are very generous.
Yes, they
You know,
are.
even when they don't know you. I mean, I didn't expect to get anything from anybody because I'd only been there like 2 months. And people are nice, you know?
But yeah, I think that's probably what it is that I don't like about chais. It's got that spiciness. It's very strong in the cinnamon. Tends to be very strong in like things like cinnamon. I think there's probably ginger in there. I think there's probably cloves in there. Those spices together just don't seem to be my palate for tea. And I think that's why I'm able to pick that out right away. And I tend to associate cinnamon with chai.
I love cinnamon. But I do like chai teas. And that's kind of unusual because a lot of them are black teas.
Well, I think if there's enough cinnamon in any tea, you're going to like it. So, is that was the first of 2?
It's your turn.
No, you showed one.
I did 2.
What was the other one?
This one and that one.
Yeah, but I showed one.
What did you show?
I showed my blanket.
Okay.
Because,
Okay.
let me see.
No,
Did
you're
you
right.
only show 2?
I showed 2.
Okay.
Let me see here. All right. In my silver shed, USA green Star Wars bag. Miss you, Anne. Thank you for doing such a good job
Yes,
on our
thank
anniversary stuff. If you watch this, somebody will tell her. Laura. Okay. This is my Mad
That's
Hatter.
awfully presumptuous of you. Maybe Laura won't.
She will. If she sees this, she will. So,
If she sees this.
yeah. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
I almost called you, but I got busy.
Excuses.
No, I really seriously did. Something I saw on the podcast made me want to call her. Okay. This is my Mad Hatter. I haven't decided. I have it as a cowl, so I guess I'm going to be putting it together. But that might change.
That might change.
Because this looks so...
Wow, Mom smacked me in the face with that needle.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. It must have been this. All I knew is that something smacked me in the glasses. I couldn't tell what
Dramatized
it was.
much? Anyway, so this is my Mad Hatter cowl. It might be a scarf. I don't know. I'm keeping it so I can have something to wear with black. This is Miss Babs' Yowza What a Skein in the Mad Hatter colorway. I haven't seen that. Well, I haven't been to Miss Babs in a while, but I haven't really seen this colorway there. She has a lot of really bright colors.
She does.
She has a lot of different
She
colors.
stopped. I think she's not doing obsidian anymore.
Is that black?
That's one of her blacks.
Okay.
Because I could not find it when I did a search. I checked in the mini skeins and the normal. Thankfully, I found another black, but I was just keeping an eye out to see if she had any more of that, and she doesning appear to.
Why were you looking for it?
I was running low, and then I realized, then I found more black in my stash, because I was like, at first I was thinking about maybe if I had to get a mini skein to fill out that black, but then I'm like, well, if she doesn't even have that anyway, I'll just go for whatever random black I happen to find in my stash.
Right.
Because I'm still not going to match the black.
Right.
Yeah, she has other blacks, but not that particular black. At least she wasn't carrying it.
Maybe she was out of it.
Maybe she was out of it. And like I said, I found another black in my stash, which works. This is a scrappy blanket.
When were you looking for it?
It was earlier in the month.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't like during the gratitude sale or anything.
No. I didn't look for anything during the gratitude. I hadn't even started the shawl during the gratitude.
Because I got your yellow squash blossom or whatever it's called during the gratitude sale because Laura had said something about it, and so we picked it up.
Yes, I have it set aside for. I'm waiting to see how much yarn I have left over after I finish my sweater in the yellow to see what I'm going to do with it. I know I have planned to make a hood with it. And
A plain yellow?
yes, because I don't have a yellow hood yet. I have greeny blue and I have red. So yellow would be the next one because I'm trying to get all my I'll have had a shawl with squash blossom in it because it's that green, yellow, and blue one. I have a hat with I have two hats with squash blossom. One that's a Diana's hat, and one that has the color work. It's in the green, blue, and squash blossom. And then I don't have fingerless mitts with it yet, but that can be remedied easily. So I need a hood, and then I'll finish my sweater. So then I'll have almost everything that could possibly be made. Oh, but I can't make a pair of socks out of it because it doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it doesn't have any nylon. It's not high twist.
Because I've already experienced it getting holes in it. So
It must not be high twist.
yeah.
It doesn't appear to be high twist just looking at it.
No, it doesn't. So that's the only accessory I won't have in Squash Blossom. I mean, I'm sure she carries a fingering weight in that color, but I'm not going to go and look for it.
But the rate that one runs out, I'm quite sure that she...
I bet she has that in every base.
What did I do here?
Excuse me. But I can't allow myself to think of her possibly having that in a fingering weight, because then in my head I'll start going, ooh, I can make cabled socks out of squash. But no. Stop that thought process right here. Chop it down. It's a colorway. I don't know what it is about the yellow. I'm not sure if it's an orange base to it or what it is. It's a little bit different than most of the yellows I've seen.
Well, you've always liked that. I mean, it's kind of... That's your version of my slate.
Yeah, and it's just for whatever reason, that's always been to me her best colorway.
I like her slate best, although...
Her mouse is gorgeous.
I like her slate best, although her blue slate has almost eclipsed it. Because I love federal blue, and to me that blue slate is almost a federal blue. You know, it's just very country.
I really enjoyed, was it called Chirp? It was that...
Yes.
To the point where it's not usually a blue I wear. It's actually Davina's kind of blue, and I actually kept the shawl. I actually planned my colors around that color because I wanted that color in the shawl.
Well, that was the last Fiber Festival we went to.
Yes, I had I had gray in there. I had the Chirp, and I had another blue.
I thought you had... Oh, that's right. You had blue, gray, and you had... It wasn't Inkwell.
No, it wasn't. It was another lighter blue. Oh, it might have been more of a sky blue.
Was it...
I don't remember what the colorway was.
Was it Miss Babs or was it Dragonfly?
They were all Miss Babs.
Okay.
I've only made the one out of Dragonfly, the original one that was from the kits. And although my favorite one that I made of the forest floor is thankfully the one that's in my favorite Miss Babs colorway, the squash blossom with all the other blues and greens and all that. I had extended it, and I took out the holes and I made it longer, where it actually covers my arm more. And that's my favorite one. If I was to make another forest floor, I would make sure I go back and look at my notes to see what I did to make that larger.
I don't wear my forest floor that you made me as much as I thought I would because it doesn't stay on.
Well, most shawls do have a tendency. I'm constantly having to, because I'll move or something. This one less so, because it's big enough.
And it's also shaped for that.
Forest floor is 2.
I'll have to try it again.
I think it's maybe because also it's a bit smaller. Even though it's by no means small.
Yeah, I am the type of person that if I'm going to wear a shawl, I want it to be a big shawl.
Well, this is basically a blanket.
Let me just... Yes, I know. I made that.
But...
That's... I'm not sure if the blue one is bigger or this one.
I haven't measured them against each other. I need to at some point.
I mean, the one I gave to Crystal is huge.
Is that your second one?
No, this is my first one.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and... I just took advantage of our waffling.
Because we waffle a lot.
I just took advantage of our... Well, we have so few projects this
Well,
time.
it works for us to waffle this time.
Yeah. So let me...
My glasses look super orange whenever I wear anything red or orange.
I forgot to bring the yarn that you gave me, but it was that bright yarn in that
Yeah,
square.
you'll see it again later.
Yeah, it's is it this one? No.
No, it's okay to be different. We don't have anything back there.
Back here,
it's okay to be different because this was the
Happy-
original. This was the Fun in the Woman Cave.
Yeah.
Which is also a very pretty color. Although you don't do this one anymore, right?
I do a version of it.
You do a version of it. Okay.
Now I can taste the chocolate. You know, it's like it had to
It's settled.
settle. All right, let me see here. It's like it has layers.
Yes.
Okay, in my B-Wing country bag is my Jelly Roll blanket from the KF Jones. It's my Country Roads blanket from the Jelly Roll blanket pattern by KF Jones. I think my pretty bag.
You might have to start getting a bag just to put your scraps in for that. If you end up running out of room.
I might have to use this for the scraps,
Right.
And use because I don't want to stop using this.
Yeah, and a heads up, just from personal experience, they do tend to. Sometimes your balls can get tangled with each other when you have enough of them in the bag.
Right.
That's why my basket actually have some tangles in my DK Sport basket.
So this, I made a little bit of progress. I had Talia. I could have done it myself, possibly, but I didn't want to risk having to start it all over
Can you
again.
hear Laura?
I know. Yes, Laura.
Laura's telling me I should stop fixing your mistakes for you.
Laura's mean. Laura's good for me. So anyway, this is she's making me something. This is very pretty the way it's turning out.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I haven't decided if I'm going to put the really bright color after this one or if I'm going to use one of the other scraps you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this one and then put the really bright one. So that,
I mean, that's really bright too, but I know what you mean.
is this mine?
Yes, it is yours.
Okay.
That was on the bottom of the shawl you made me.
Yeah. And it was also the part of the Blue Christmas.
That was part of Davina's Christmas stocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was at the exploded Blue Christmas for that. Yeah, so I was going to tink back, and I thought, Talia she does the thing where she does whatever she does and gets all the stitches.
It's called when you're able to read your stitches, you can go and drop down and just pick up once you're able to read your stitches.
I am an illiterate knitter.
It's the superpower of literacy.
Actually, I'm not an illiterate knitter. I am I'm an early
Pre-K?
reader. I'm an early reader, an early one.
What do they call it? Early
Primer.
Primer.
Primer
Or early
liter-
level. What they used to. I don't know.
There's primers, there's pre-primers, primers. I forget what the rest of them are, but I used to know. But I can fix some things, but if I try to get too creative of fixing them, I get a mess, and then Ty has a headache.
Although, if you don't take your needles out, you get another needle the same size, and try threading it through, and then show me what you've done.
Yeah, I could do that.
Then you get the experience, and also that'll be really great in amping up your confidence with reading stitches, because then if you do it right enough times, and you're like, oh, that's what they look like, you'll start looking for the legs of the stitch.
I have a hard time finding, even in crocheting sometimes I have a hard time finding. It's just, I don't know if it's, I don't have the eyesight for it or what. It's just, a little bit of a difficult proposition for me. But I'll figure it out eventually. I just need the time to sit down and do it. Because I'll sit down and then the phone rings, or I'll sit down and something happens, or I'll sit down and I'm tired and I'll go to sleep. So,
Yeah, you never ended up doing that thing where you're supposed to, set aside even 15 minutes for yourself on your uninterrupted.
I don't have time.
Turn on your blue light.
Nobody pays attention to my blue light anyway.
Or actually use our knitting time for crafting
I do that.
Okay, most of the time you're like running around doing 20 million other different things.
Well, I have to do like I had a sale. I have to do my packages and that kind of stuff. And right now,
But does it have to be done then? Can it be done after so you can actually get relaxation time?
Not always. Mm-hmm. If somebody has given me money, it has to go out then, because if I don't do it then, it might not get done. And I don't like having people's money if I don't have the thing going out.
Right.
Other things, yes, you're right. Other things,
because this is a pattern for you, where you're like, I don't have time to craft, and then you're like, during our actual tea time, which should be your craft time, you're like playing on the computer, or you're running around doing this and that and the other thing.
I blame. This goes all the way back to
Nancy.
Nancy. Yes, she's got broad shoulders. She can take the hit because we love Nancy. She's a sweetheart.
What you need to do is you sit down and you close the computer.
Yes, and I've done that.
Yep, not very often.
Well, we did it for a while, and then we got caught
up. One day.
No, we did it for a little while, and then we had Christmas come up, and we had birthdays come up, and then we had the craziness that is making teas for Adagio.
So yes, what you need to do, tea time shouldn't be us making teas for Adagio. Tea time should be close your computer.
Well, it's supposed to, one day a week it's supposed to be our Bible study, which we have.
Well, yes, and we're going to start that again with Lent. Yeah. I think that's a really good time period to get that rolling again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one day a week it'll be that, and then the other times it's going to be my knitting or crocheting, unless I'm having a hand pain or I'm, not able to focus.
But just want to get back into where you're actually enjoying what you're doing, even if you aren't able to craft for whatever reason because your hand hurts. Mm-hmm. Being present in that moment.
Yeah.
Instead of distracted on the computer, whatever.
Yeah, the computer, that's one of my Lent things anyway. I'm going to try to disconnect a little bit from that.
Because what happens if you're on there and distracted, I end up getting my phone being distracted because I can tell you're distracted. So.
But yeah, so we waffled a little bit.
Yes, we did.
I did my...
I had to yell at her, though, because she doesn't use her tea time for crafting.
Did I do the second one? This 1, 2...
Yes, that is your second one. Because you did the...
Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter first. So... Thus endeth the lesson.
Thus endeth the lesson that has no lesson.
Reference.
Yes, it is a reference.
Well, not her part. My part was the reference.
Yes. Thus endeth the lesson.
Wait, it doesn't work without thus endeth the lesson.
No, you just gave it away. You oboe head.
Well, you can't give it without.
But you gave it away, you oboe head.
Not if people haven't seen it.
Everybody's seen it.
I doubt that.
Everybody's seen it.
I am quite sure that there are people who have not seen it.
Everybody's seen it. Aborigines and whatever.
That's like... Okay, so we assumed that everyone has seen Casablanca, and that's been proven false.
Yeah, but that's like, 100 years ago. Actually, it's not too far off.
I know. I was trying to think. I'm like, it might actually be 100 years.
Is that like 1939 or something?
I don't know.
I think it's around that. I don't know. It's maybe a little later than that, but it's close.
It probably is the 40s.
It might be.
Because
World War II, yeah,
World War II,
yeah, probably like 1945 or 1943. Or
yeah, because
it's about 80 years.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So for me, that gave me enough time to finish my row, my needle. Let me pick a story from the Kitties in the News. I mean, we've hit all of them at some point, but so we'll read this one as best we can. No, actually, we'll read this one. I don't think I've read this one as often. Oil prices surge, but Sal's short hair cashes in, by Ollie Oriental. Prices at the pumps reach an all-time high today, but no one is suffering who purchased an electric racer from Flying Feline Company. The fast-moving compact is a new favorite among all breeds when it comes to travel these days. Sal, shown left at a massage, just got ASPCA approval on his newest venture, the Curiosity 707, an economic electric jet plane. I'm believing
that was Bond
on a jet plane. Okay. That promises not to kill the cat. Satisfaction guaranteed. So, let's see. There is... Am I pointing at the right one? Yes, I am. So there's Sal getting his massage. Yes, Kitties in the News. This was your... What's it, Chronicle? The Kitty Chronicle, late edition. So, in the Kitties in the News bag is my Anne sweater by Joanna Johnson. Project name is Lake of Shining Waters, using Andean Treasure in the colorway Sapphire Heather. So, and this is Baby Alpaca. I usually only knit on this here. Partially because it's actually probably the best lighting to work on this.
Right.
And partially because, I've had other things to focus on. But yeah, slowly but surely making my way down the sleeve.
That's pretty. It looks really nice.
It's a nice sweater.
It's a nice weight. Whoops.
Yeah. What? Oh, Felicia. She always wants to say hi at some point.
Oh, that's nice.
You forgot to take your drink.
I don't have anything to drink.
Oops, is a bunny.
Oh, yes, I do.
So yes, that's all I have to say about this. I mean, it's growing.
The chocolate really does have to settle before it spills out.
One podcast at a time, it's growing.
For the 5 minutes that you work on it.
Well, I work on it the entire podcast.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
So I switch projects, otherwise I won't have anything to show. So
because this is, I know this is the only time I work on this project, pretty much. So I figure might as well give this project as much as I can during that time period if I want it to actually be done ever.
Well, it's going to be really nice. I love the fact that it has such a high ribbing.
I really do like that. I have another sweater. Oh, I think it is the pullover, the one by Emsky Knits. It has ribbing up to here. Yeah. And it's just a really nice... Ribbing in general, it's nice to have in your sweater because it's really forgiving.
I like the way it feels, too. It makes it... I don't know. That and... It makes it comfortable. I think I must have some tactile stuff because I like the way it feels. Against... It's not too tight, but it's not too loose. It's like I'm one of those people...
Just right.
Just right. I'm one of those people that, like, when you go to bed at night or whatever, or take a nap, I have to have my feet covered. I can't... And it has to be the right kind of material, otherwise it feels weird. So, yeah, I must have some tactile things. The ribbing is really good for that. Let me go on to my next ones. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. How many more projects do you have?
One.
Okay. Let me just put this away. I love this particular pattern, scrap shawl, because once I start it, I don't have to read a pattern. I just keep going. And I go as long as I want to. There's no counting rows, there's no measuring, you just go.
Go as long as you want to.
You and your songs.
It's the soundtrack of my life.
Sometimes it feels like somebody's watching me. That would be Davina's. All right. In my Emma Owl bag is my Ice Baby blanket. And this is another one from the Surabel scrap shawl pattern. No, not Surabel scrap shawl. The Surabel pattern. I put something down. What did I do with my Mad Hatter? Oh, there it is. I think I already worked on that. Okay, anyway, I'm distracted. Here's my Ice Baby blanket, and it's from the Surabel scarf pattern by Sarah Sweethearts. And I use this pattern for everything.
Yes, you do.
So, I have people who've been with us for any length of time know which patterns each of us tend to favor.
I don't have quite as many repeat patterns anymore.
Well, you're doing the same socks with some of them.
Right. Well, that's, only for the sport weight plain socks I have been repeating that pattern. Mostly, I have that meant for like sock yarn where the sock is, where the yarn is busier.
Right. Well, one of the reasons I do the Surabel so much, besides the fact that I just like the pattern, is when I have yarn that is so busy I don't know what to do with it, because I don't do socks.
Well, you couldn't use some of the yarn in socks anyway.
Well, you could if it was a plain. Vanilla
No,
soft.
what I mean, the brand. I don't mean, like, if you
Brand.
use Miss Babs.
Oh, right, but I don't have a lot of Miss Babs.
But that,
Anymore.
you were talking about ones that you tend to use that are busier that you wouldn't use. That's why I gave that example.
Right, well, I have a lot of other yarns like that too, though. But so this one was gifted to me. I'm working on a completely gifted materials except for the hook. The bag was given to me by Emma. That's why I call it my Emma Owl's bag. I absolutely love it. And the yarn was given to me by Chronically Crocheting, who is Crystal. Thank you very much, Crystal. And this is about 2/3 of the way through because I'm about 2/3 of the way through the yarn. So it'll be a nice little blanket for somebody. And we've had an explosion of people being pregnant in our church. So maybe they'll get it, or maybe it'll go to the pregnancy center. So, and this is ice yarn. They said it's a 4 worsted, but I think it's more of an Aran weight. It's kind of a heavy worsted. And it's actually not too rough for an acrylic. It's actually a little soft. And I think if I wash it, or if they wash it, it'll be fine.
Right.
It's a pretty color.
Is that it?
I guess I have
Oh,
one
you
more.
one more.
Yeah, let me just... Oops, it's getting tangled
It's a
up.
bunny.
Yes, it's a bunny. This is for Valeria. Why is the tea gone?
Presumably because you drank all... Whoops, there goes the spoon. Presumably because you drank all of it.
I had a tea leaf in my...
Every once in a while they slip by.
I think,
Sometimes I wonder if it's because we aren't necessarily careful when we dump the leaves in.
well, I think also sometimes I put the water a little too high.
Yeah,
and
that'll
so
do
it
it.
goes around the rim.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the other thing. It's not going to hurt you. Even if you swallow it, it's not going to
No,
hurt you.
no.
So, okay. In my Universal Studios bag is my Virtual Hugs shawl project from the scrap shawl pattern by Anastasia Sattel. This is the other one I was telling you about. And I'm still on this purple. See? So it's growing a little at a time. I like the gradations of this. I picked up this yarn, I think it was from my local yarn store before it closed or was bought up by Laura Gavis.
It looks like a colorway that Heidi would dye.
Maybe.
It kind of looks like a shade she would like.
She would call it something like she had something.
She has something similar to that. I forget what it's called.
But this is not hers.
No, but it looks like something of hers.
Yeah. So that's
I can't remember what it was called.
let me just put
Because I don't think it was a whatever her ones that she can't repeat are called. I can't remember.
Oh, you're talking about the not pot scrubber.
No.
That was No Makers. Roadkill.
Yeah, I don't think it was a roadkill.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been, but I don't think it was. But she had something similar to that.
No, I don't think it was a roadkill. I think she could. I wanted to say Pale Rider, but that's something else.
No, Pale Rider is really
It's really pale. Yeah. I know she has something like that. I just don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't either. I think I made a bunny out of it.
Did you?
I think I did. I don't know. I made a bunny out of a lot of her yarn.
Well, we scandalized her. We buy her yarn and make toys out of it. We were her yarn heathens. But this is a lot of fun. This is just another of the shawls, and it's a little lighter because I'm using, this one's more like crystals. I'm using Sport and DK for this. Let me see if I can, there we go. Must be in the middle of a stitch here or something. Let me see. And I'm not sure which yarn this is. I think it's this one, which is
Looks like it.
Restactita Lotus Malabrigo. Of course, it's Malabrigo. I love Malabrigo. Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
I do like Malabrigo. Always have. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so now it's my turn for my last one. So, in my Debbie Reese Designs bag from Spicy Mama, Spicy Homemaker. I don't think she even goes by that anymore.
I don't know. I mean, she's doing it. I think
I'm not sure if she's even podcasting anymore.
She was doing something with another person, and I don't know if it was strictly knitting or not. I can't remember.
I'm so out of touch with that kind of thing.
I am too.
But I won this bag from her. And in here, Again, it's the Not Just Boring Boot Socks pattern by Corinne Walcher, I believe. And these are the Little Bunny Foo-Foo socks. Let me go ahead. Get a sock blocker. So,
Oh, pretty.
on one side has more of the pink on the leg and one side more of the pink on the foot. It's actually going to be working out opposite on this side
Cool.
because the pink was over here on the last sock and it's over here on this one. So that means it'll be, I can actually have pink
Right,
on the
left.
outside if I want to for the second pair, for each of the socks. Or I can choose to have a blue on the outside day, whatever I feel like. So I'm happy they look like they're going to be turning out like that.
Yay.
So yeah,
Very pretty.
these work up quickly. I'm maybe an inch from being able to start the heel flap.
And I don't dye my yarn that way anymore.
No, this is an older skein, I think.
I don't think.
Most of yours tend to spiral. This one's really not spiraling.
Yeah, it had a specific. I have to do that in a specific way. I'm not sure if I don't do it in that way, if I can
Sorry.
redo it. But yeah.
So yeah. That has honestly been my, as you could tell by the fact that it wasn't on needles last time, and this time I finished the stock and made good progress on the second one. That has been my main project.
Right.
So.
Okay, well, that's it for that.
Okay, so
Any
that leads
FOs?
us on to FOs, and I'm the only one with an FO, so let me. Oh wait, no, design is after that. So, sorry.
And all the prizes have gone out. Just in case you're wondering, they did go out a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, or something like that. So they're all the way out.
You probably guessed this by the fact that it wasn't shown, but the autism awareness socks have been finished.
They're pretty, bright and happy.
Yes, and this is It's Okay to Be Different colorway, and this is Mom's yarn, just like the Little Bunny Foo-Foo. And I wasn't initially sure how I felt about the way the spirally stripes were, but I actually really like it. So you have two different kinds of stripes spiraling around. You have a blue-yellow stripe spiraling around a pink-green stripe.
Those are bright.
Yes, they are very bright.
Need shades. Have
So
to wear
very
shades.
different from any other socks I actually have right now, which is cool. I don't have anything quite in this, in this color scheme. So this will be the second one in as many weeks, because last week I had finished the striped ones by Undead Yarn. So yeah, I will hopefully fairly quickly work through these sport weight yarns that I have, and then I can go back to focusing on my fingering ones, because I'll have developed a little stash. Because some of my older socks are they're showing their wear. They're showing their age. And then some of the newer ones, before I realized that I needed something with a higher twist or with nylon, they're just falling apart.
And once she finishes that, I can start wearing mine more consistently. Because I can't find socks that are regular ankle socks.
Yeah.
They're either those really short, kind of, I don't like those, or they're really tall. I like them to be right about where you have them. And the thing is, I like to work out in my socks and stuff like that. So I need to wait until you're maybe you're finished with yours, and if you still want to do socks, then I can, give you the yarn and you can do them.
Right.
But I don't want to do it until you've got what you have, what you need to get done.
Right, because these are the only socks. I only wear hand knit socks right now.
And I'm thinking that they might be a little more cushy for when I work out.
They are more cushy now. They could potentially wear more too.
Well, that's why I said I wanted to wait.
Yeah.
Because, I want to see if it's going to be worth it to be, how long it takes to wear them down.
Yeah.
With a nylon.
Now you only have one pair with a nylon.
I only have one pair with a nylon?
Because you had the Miss Babs, which doesn't have nylon.
Right, both my Miss Babs, yeah.
And then you have the striped ones that are the same as my striped ones I just
Heidi.
finished. Heidi's. That, just based on how the pair is holding up that is similar to that I made, I think that those have nylon.
Okay.
Or at least a high twist, but I think it's the same base as the one of hers that I know has nylon in it. So, yeah, that one will hold up better. But that's the only one of yours I made with
Right.
nylon.
So I think I have 3 pairs of socks or 4 pairs of
Yeah,
socks.
you have...
I have 2 of the Dance All Night.
Yes, and one is in Funny Papers, I think, and one is in Mad Hatter, I think.
I have one that's in a... I want to say there's a green, or... I have to check.
Yeah.
Because I wear them, but I wear them over my other socks, and I don't wear them to work out.
Right.
Well, I did wear one of them to work out. Not to work out, but to get on the treadmill.
And I think partially what wears them down as well is actually wearing them against your skin, and if you wear them in shoes.
Yeah. Well, when I work out, I'd have to wear
Yeah.
them in shoes. Now, but I wouldn't be wearing them all day in shoes.
Yeah.
Usually I wear them in slippers. You know, I'd only be wearing them outside when I go to church or go to whatever. I don't go out a whole lot.
Well, I mean, I can still put holes in socks without going out ever.
Yeah, well, you're talented that way.
But
Okay, so what's next?
next would be shop news.
Okay, shop news. Do you want to go first, or...
Mine's just design in progress. Oh, sorry, this is heavy. There we go.
Okay. For me,
this
for
is in my
shop
bag.
news, I think I'm all finished dyeing the yarn for the kits, and I am in the process of preparing them to ball bands and stuff like that. I have the most irritating, like, paper cut kind of thing on my thumb that is causing me to slow down, because every time I do it, it opens. So or it hurts. So I'm trying to get these put together. I've got a few kits put together of the Podiversary, but I probably won't be starting to list them until I have the majority of them done, and then I'll start putting them up for you guys to pick up your Podiversary kits. And we're very grateful for all of you
Yes,
who
thank
purchased
you.
them. Exciting that you wanted to do that. So I got everything basically finished for that, and I want to do some more yarn dyeing in the next few days, but again, it's going to have to wait till I get these kits done. And you may see a very much of a slowdown in my projects for the next week or two while I do that, so I can get those out to you. Even though I know it's not due until May, I kind of like to get it out. I've got boxes in my room that are driving me crazy, because I'm not maybe the most organized person, but I don't like mess, and it looks like a mess.
Also, if there's potential other things happening, you might want to get that out anyway.
Yeah. So, and we'll explain a little bit about
Yeah.
that later. So yeah, my shop, just keep your eye on the shop. I may have other things going on also based on what we might talk to you about later. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so that leads us on to stash enhancement.
Okay. Let me just finish the stitch.
Now, I don't have the tin show that Mom gave me, but I put my Berserker tea in there. And then I have here, Mom got for me Thief and Archer, which are my blends. And I have the full set of our shared story blends.
Yep, I have them and she has them.
Yes. She tends to favor the ones that are spicier, and I tend to flavor like the ones a little bit more breakfasty, which is Berserker, and then the chamomile. And we
Although I
both-
did like the chamomile.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It took you a little while, but Archer cools nicely. You end
Yeah.
up really tasting berries.
now my tin, I also put my tin up there, but I picked up chocolate chai
There.
pour air, and then you can see here I had ordered one of these. I didn't want to let the guy know that I already had one, because he gifted me one. So, and I thought that was the sweetest thing ever. So that's that. And I have this little kid, I forget I think this is Kamikaze. It's a cat. The name is Kamikaze. And then the Dachshund, and I think it's called Flourished, which has almond, caramel, and butterscotch.
Well, that sounds good.
Now, this lady was super sweet. She had mentioned the blend that she had, which was this one. She had mentioned it, and I said, "Oh, that sounds good." I said, "Can you tell me where to find it?" PM because I was getting off.
Yeah.
So she PM'd me, and she gave me the link, and I told her thank you that I had picked one up. Actually, I told her I picked up 2. I thought this one was hers as well, but it wasn't. And she was all excited because she said nobody ever buys her blends. And so I went back. I said, because I said I may have paid more. And I went and looked at it, and I said, "Oh, I picked up another one of hers that I liked." So I did pick up a couple of hers. So I have one more Adagio order coming in, and then I'm I'm going to try to do a moratorium on these unless there's something I need.
Like if she drinks through her thief, which is a high possibility.
Yeah. So I'm going to try not to get too much during Lent. I'm going to try to cut back on social media, and I'm going to try to cut back on spending during Lent especially. So I'm picking up things that I think I might want or might want to try before we hit Lent. And March 4th or March 2nd or something is when Lent starts. Ash Wednesday is whatever Wednesday is. It's the 2nd
I think
or
it's
4th.
like next week or something.
Yeah, it's in the next week or 10 days. So I'm just trying to pick up things that I might want to try before, and even the community. I'm going to wait till after Easter
That makes sense.
if I do that because we have tea to get through, and we so that's what we're doing. But a lot of these teas have things like caramel and chocolate and things. That's what I really like. The teas I developed, you'll see these next week. I developed 2 more teas, and they're totally out of my wheelhouse because one is a white tea, and one of them.
Although white tea is something you really enjoy.
I'm just finding that I enjoy it, and the other one is it's a honey bush with some black tea. So I would share those with you when they come in, and I can share with you the ones that I bought along with it. I think I bought a vanilla to go with it, plus this lady's sample.
Yeah, because you really enjoyed the vanilla when you taste mine.
Better than the cream even.
Yeah, I thought it was better than cream was good, but the vanilla was definitely better. It was one of those things that I tasted the vanilla in community. I was like, wow, this is good.
Now see, this one will probably go. I think this is one of the ones we said I was going to put in my tins along with that's the one I might pick up is the Adagio Chorange.
Right. You have Davina gave you some, didn't she?
Yes. I might just go ahead and put that in
and
first.
I just have it in there waiting.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to make sure I have more than just chocolate in there to have. I do have.
Well, what's helping is some of the teas that I designed.
Right. Plus, I have a couple of Plum Deluxe. I have Stargazer Mott and vanilla and shortbread.
Well, you have a if you put salmon there, you have a green tea.
There. I have salmon there. I think I have like 4 times 4 is 16. I have 17 tins, the little ones, and then I have one that's bigger for sugar, rock sugar. And so if I fill that with teas that are different, then I have some tins down here that I'm refilling with other things so that I have a variety. And then I have what Stephanie gave us that I refilled. I have one blood orange. I have Naughty and Nice, which I found on my own, and then I have Candy Cane Craze. So those are slightly different teas, and I figure if I go through the stuff in my boxes, I can pretty much just stay with what's in the tins after that.
Right.
Because how much tea?
I mean, you might occasionally have a sample here and there, but you'll have staples.
Yeah, and I might find, okay, I want to have an amount of this, but I don't know if I always want to have an amount of this.
Right. I mean, sometimes they'll change out. So I just want to pull up my show notes for my reading, and then because you said you don't have a whole lot for reading, right?
Basically, I did my religious stuff. Because I have so much going on right now for that. By the time I'm done with it, I'm off the machine. I need to make some time to read. The only thing I'm doing is I'm listening to the Inspector Battle.
Superintendent
Battle.
Yeah, don't give him a demotion.
What is the name of it again?
Oh, that is the 16 dials?
No.
9 dials?
No.
Something dials.
No, nothing dials. It's the one where they go to it's chimneys.
Chimneys.
Yeah.
Chimneys. 7 chimneys, or it's
the
got a
Secret
number.
of Chimneys or something like that. I forget.
Something with chimneys.
Yeah. That's the one now I know where Kay got that hat from, or whatever she was. She made the chimneys that.
No. The one that looks like chimneys is based off of something else.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 7. He does have a 7 dial, but this.
Well, something chimneys.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
I
secret
think
chimney.
the dials one might be the one that comes after.
I like Battle, but I like the primary character in this one.
Well, when he's in a book,
Anthony.
they tend to focus a lot more on the main cast. He can be a very strong character in there. So the 3-book series is, I have all 3 of them, but the 7 Dials, which is book 2. Let's see. Let me see. Murder is Easy. Bleh. Towards Zero.
I did Murder is Easy.
Yes, he's like at the very end, and you're really cheated out of it.
Yeah.
And let's see, so 7 Dials. Okay, Publication Chronicle. Just because that's how you know, because one of them follows the same characters. Okay, Secret of Chimneys, which is one you're reading now.
Yeah.
That's 1925. In 1929, he did the 7 Dials, which uses some of the same characters.
Oh, good. Does it have Anthony again?
I think they use some of the more side characters.
Because I like Anthony, and I like the lady, not Bustle, the other one.
I think they use Bobby and the young girl who
Billy, not Bobby. I don't know any Bobby.
Maybe it's Billy.
If you think about the one who liked Virginia,
yes,
that's
him.
Billy. That's Billy.
He's in there, and then the young girl who, like, her father's hosting or something. I'm trying to remember.
Bustle?
I think that's it.
She's not overly young, but yeah.
She's
Virginia's friend.
Yeah, Virginia's friend. She's young.
Yeah, but you say young girl, I think of like the 11 and 12-year-olds that were running around the house.
Oh, no. When I'm saying young girl, I mean like teenage, young adult.
Well, she's got to be in her 20s, Bustle, at least, because she's Virginia's friend.
Well, she could be younger than Virginia.
Not that much younger, not the way they're talking.
And then 1936 is Cards on the Table, which you've read. 1939 is Murder is Easy, which you've read, and it was...
I was disappointed.
I was very disappointed in that one.
They do that with Poirot sometimes too. I hate when they do that.
Well, it wasn't just that disappointed me. The main character was stupid.
In which one?
Murder is Easy.
Is that the one with...
That's the one where the guy is supposedly, like, he has a past as a detective, but he can't see any... Like, he can't read any clues. He's totally obsessed with this girl. And his way of going about the case is completely dumb.
Right.
It's the only time where I've been kind of like, I had to force myself through an Agatha Christie. That's very unusual.
The one I didn't like was The Unexpected Guest.
I haven't read that one, and also I think her plays might be slightly different because someone else is adapting it.
I forced my way through it. It wasn't as bad when I finally forced my way through it, and I listened to it. I didn't read it.
And again, we got to give... It might be a difference in style, partially with whoever adapted it back to the novel. And then Towards Zero, which you haven't read, it's the last one, The Superintendent Battle, and that's 1944. And I've always loved Towards Zero. But, okay. So that's for your reading? Now,
basically, yeah.
For mine, is... sorry, I had to scroll. There we go. I finished listening to Ave Maria, The Mystery of a Most Beloved Prayer by Pope Francis. Like I said, I really wanted to like this. The format just was very unpleasant of the back and forth interview, and I really didn't care for the interviewer. He just didn't do a very good job. It was an audiobook borrowed on Libby, so I didn't waste any money on it. Then the other one I actually really enjoyed, and I looked up the author on Amazon so I could, like, wish list all his books. Heroes from Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar to Churchill and de Gaulle by Paul Johnson. It has James Adams as narrator. Borrowed that on Libby. And he says from Alexander the Great, he goes earlier than that. He's dealing with heroes from the Bible, and, he just covers the whole gamut. Really enjoyed it. And then the ones I'm currently reading the autobiography of St. Teresa of Avila still. Until Christ Be Formed in You by Blessed James Alberione still. Almost done with Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This has to be the 4th or 5th time at least that I've read that book. Reading, as I hit each day, Lives of the Saints Complete, January through December by Michael J. Rizzala and Wyatt North. And I went to school with Mike, to college, but it's been many years. Then I have started listening to House of Abraham by Stephen Barry with Michael Pritchard as narrator. Sometimes he can give a little too much detail when he quotes people on the horrors of the Civil War, because they're letters that people wrote or remembrances that people wrote about things that they saw, and some of it you don't always want to be eating when you're reading some of these descriptions. It probably is important for it to be out there, but it's a little bit more graphic in some areas with the violence than I expected. But they're covering the split in the Todd family because of the war. Like, half of them were Union, half of them were Confederate, and they were a very difficult family anyway, and they just really were a prime example of this. They basically were, you could look at their family and it's like, yep, that is how the United States has been torn apart. Just look at the Todd family.
They weren't the only ones, I'm sure.
They weren't, but because they were the president's family. High profile. They were right out in the open. They're like, you might have had other people you did have other people whose family members died on either side, but because, we might have never taken notice of this private over here who dies, but because he was a Todd, he's going to give it notice in the papers, and, it's going to be highly publicized. There's no private grief for the president. And it finally became available. I had this on hold, waiting for someone else to be done borrowing it. I started reading Victoria the Queen, an intimate biography of the woman who ruled an empire by Julia Bard. So, I have to have it done 14 days after I borrowed it because someone else has it on hold. And then I had to give it up in 14 days. So I went ahead, it's a 670-page book, and I divided it by 14. And so I had to read at least 50 pages, 48 pages a day. I'm ahead of schedule, which is good. So I will get it done in time. I really just didn't want to have to borrow it again and try to find my place. Which means that's been my main reading, even though I mentioned some of these others. So yeah, the other reason why I want to make sure I finish this, I have another book on hold on the Titanic that will be coming available pretty soon, I think. So if I want to catch that one and I'll have to put it on hold again, I have to finish Victoria. So yeah, that's it for me for reading.
Okay. All right, so are we done?
We are. That leads us on to personal stuff. And first, thank yous.
Yes, before we get into personal stuff, because I know not everybody wants to listen to personal stuff, we want to thank everybody who commented either on YouTube or in the group. I did thumbs up all the stuff on YouTube. I haven't had a chance to respond. I didn't see anybody on PHN. If you did it, it was I didn't see it because it wasn't there. I will try to get one of us will try to get back and answer something if we can. We always appreciate your comments. Please continue to comment. We always read them. So just can't always.
It's I know for me it's just hard to keep up between not necessarily having brain power and then not necessarily being awake.
Right. So please do feel free to continue to comment. Yes. We always read them. We just don't always have the time to get back. Yeah. We do want to thank Looney Hiker, Wendy, who we call MacGyver, Paula, Andy, Margaret, Rena, and Stephanie. Thank you very much for commenting. We appreciate that. I think we had I think Laura commented on Messenger or something.
There's someone also who commented on an old podcast, and I can't remember who it was, but she said she was behind. And,
okay.
So I can't remember. I feel like she asked a question, but I can't remember now.
And for those, I forgot, because I'm a little off kilter with my spiel that I say, I forgot to thank everybody last week. Mm-hmm. We thank you as well. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you don't want to listen to the personal stuff, we can see you next week, hopefully, and we will say goodbye. And yeah, thank you for coming. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So now,
Okay, so for personal stuff, I first of all, I had my disability hearing on Friday, so
What time is that?
I have it in my thing. I can't remember. It's in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
But so people who are usually present for the Zoom, that's going to actually be on Thursday instead of Friday, so I'm not too worn out for my disability hearing.
Right.
And then I had my appointment with my neurologist this past Thursday, and he does think that there is a worsening instability lower in my C-spine, either in my C2 to C3 or my C4 to C5. So I have to get another MRI because I did a CAT scan. Now I have to get an MRI
To make sure.
To make sure, and then see what's next. He must have seen something on the CAT scan to give him enough, besides symptoms, enough to believe that there was something there. And MRI would give him a better look.
Yeah, he can check. So.
Because CAT scan is not quite as detailed as an MRI.
Right.
So there's enough there for him to anticipate something. So that that might be one reason why Mom might get the kids out a little bit sooner, depending on if I end up having another surgery, another fusion, because last time it moved pretty quickly once we made up our minds to do it. So, and also we're seeing him earlier, because I think when I first saw him, it was like October, maybe September. It might have been...
I don't remember.
It was either September or October. It wasn't... I hadn't had the brace yet for retreat, so it might have been October. Because that was the last time that I felt comfortable moving my head and stuff, because I was in the wheelchair for the Fiber Festival and turning my head every which way.
You were in the you were the wheelchair for the retreat, too.
I was, but I hadn't yet started doing the brace and didn't yet know that I couldn't move my head, because I remember doing a lot of turning my head when I'm backing up. So it was October when I started seeing him, and it didn't take that much longer. By November, we had already decided I needed fusion.
A week before Christmas, thank you very much.
Yes, I had it the week before Christmas. So last year I had an Advent. We'll see if this year I get it during Lent. So penitential season.
Yes.
So yes, we'll keep you all apprised. If that's the case, my shop will go on vacation mode once I'm actually headed in to surgery. Maybe even a week before, maybe a couple days before, so I don't have any orders waiting. I don't want to have people who make an order like right before and then I can't do anything about it.
Right.
And then as soon as I would feel up to it, if I did need surgery, I would then open it up as soon as I felt capable of doing it again.
Now, my shop would probably be the opposite. I may do, again, the mystery boxes, the mystery yarns, where partial... part of the funds, part of what I make will go toward Talia's bills for surgery, because we have to do that out of pocket.
Yeah.
So I may be doing the mystery boxes again, in terms of, you won't know what you're getting.
And that's all dependent on whether or not but my gut feel is I've known for a while that something was wrong back here.
So that, that may be, if I do that, I may take the free shipping off, because I want to be able to give as much as I can. Because what I usually do is I keep back enough that I can replenish my yarn, plus just a little bit, and then I give the rest to Talia for her bills and things. So I might take the shipping off, or I might do a partial shipping as opposed to a full shipping. Just because maybe you guys can chime in on that, what you think would be best. Because I use you guys as a sounding board.
And like we're saying, this is all dependent on whether or not I actually need surgery. In my head, I'm already preparing for that possibility, because he seemed to believe that there is further issue, which I was hoping that wasn't the case, although I think I kind of knew.
So we will have to deal with that when it comes. Prayers would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Both prayers first that she gets her disability before that happens.
Yes.
And then,
Because heaven knows I won't be in shape to fight them during that time period.
I'm still playing kind of telephone tag with the rheumatologist.
She has taken the steps that she needs to. She's filled out all the paperwork.
I did the paperwork with Talia's help because it was a bear.
It was quite intense.
And then I wrote them a note saying, what else am I supposed to do? And they said, take this call when it comes in. The call never came in. I'm assuming that even if it was on fax, and even if it went to the telephone company, that would have shown up that that person called.
I would think so.
Well, their number never called. So I don't...
you contacted them on a Friday, I think?
I contacted them, yeah.
So...
But she said that they would call the
Yeah, but
next
it might
day.
not have been... right, they might have been next work day.
They call on Saturday. They called me the first time on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what the deal is. I'm going to give them until tomorrow because tomorrow's not a day off.
Yeah.
And if they don't call them, I have to email because I can't get through to my phone.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
No, it's a good thing you can get a hold of them by email.
All I ever do is get a busy signal from them.
Yeah, that's really bad setup for health.
They gave me a phone number and, we have an intake number, we have an outtake number. Just give me a phone number that I can reach you. I'm not, honestly.
You might have to let them know in the email, the number I have doesn't work.
I let the phone person know when I talk to her.
Yeah.
They gave me a number. I said, I called this number. It's always busy. I never get a hold of it. And that's when she gave me the email. But honestly, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I can't get through to them. I'm not impressed. But it's the closest one. I don't want my husband to have to drive to Maryland or something.
Right.
So we'll see what happens if the doctor is better than the staff. Mm-hmm. And I shouldn't say the staff is bad. I just can't get through to anybody.
Right.
Which is really annoying.
They need to fix whatever's going on with their phone.
Yeah. And then on a slightly higher note, we got our generator installed in the tank. And I think it has at least some propane in it. I mean, 800 gallons worth. So I think that's what they said. Or maybe they just said they're going to put that in. I don't know. Anyway, that's done. I think they just have to connect it. Mm-hmm. And we'll have that all set up. So that's good. They were really, really good about filling in the hole, fixing things. They nicked our swing that my husband made. They fixed that. Anything they broke, they fixed or replaced. And they were just, I'm really impressed. It kind of restored faith in contractors and people in that area of work because we've had some real doozies that just you don't understand how they stay in jobs. Mm-hmm. But they were really, really good. Yeah. We've had a fairly pleasant experience with this, even though it does take forever. Mm-hmm. So at least that's almost done. We were happy about that as well. Like Talia said, for the Patreons, our next Patreon event is on Thursday instead of Friday this week. And we do request prayers for what's going on in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So is there anything else?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. We want to wish you all a very wonderful, blessed day and week. We're always glad to see you, and we hope to see you here again next week for the Fun and the Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 493, and that's a wrap.
Bye.